Hello. Hi, my name is Chandra Green, and I am a licensed marriage and family therapist. If you are watching this, 9 times out of 10, you have purchased this nice little gem, right? Which means you may be ready to go on some type of journey to healing. And so, thank you for allowing me to spend a little bit of time with you and try to help assist you in that journey. So, this journal is a little bit different. You don't just get in it and just start writing, okay? You have to be ready to do the work. So, if you're not ready, take a moment, take a breath, take a beat, and pull it together because it's about to be a ride, okay? I tell people all the time when you go on the journey to get to know yourself a little bit better, or the journey to look at life a little bit different, you have to be willing to give up some things that you thought you knew that may be well ingrained in you, right? And you have to just be ready for whatever comes up. One, be honest with yourself when you're going through this process. Be honest with yourself and be honest with others. It's going to force people around you to have to adjust to it as well because you become a ripple in a big old puddle of water. And you either teach people how to deal with you after you're healed because they're used to a different you, or they're no longer part of your life. So be ready for whatever comes after this. Either way, congratulations. I'm so glad that you're taking this moment to just think about how can I live a better, happier, healthier life? How can I live better, love better? How can I heal better? Right? So let's get into this. Let me show you a little bit about this book. After you get past the little technical pages, what you'll run into is a page that says resources. These are just a few resources. Now, some of these are national, and some of these resources are local to where I live, which is Kansas City, Kansas, and Wyandotte County. So, if you have resources that you want to add to this, feel free to write them in there. This is your book. So, just to keep them on hand, just in case you need them, or whatever you use, put it in there. Okay. So, you don't have to go looking for it too far. And then after that page, now this is the part that you have to do. There is some pre-work. What? Some work? Yes, this is all work. So your prerequisite homework, I'm trying to get it out, is that you have to do a mental health safety plan. Why? Because I don't ever want you to be writing in this journal, get stuck and stay stuck. But if you plan for those moments, not even just this journal, but life period, when you have moments, when you're doing things, what is your safety plan for your mental health, right? Now, what you'll notice in this book is that there are little quotes in this book. Some are for me. When you see them like this, they're for me. When you see the other quotes, they're it tells you who they're from. But the quote, this one says, remember, always remember to take a deep breath. Inhale what you see, exhale the truth. I say inhale what you see because that's what you have in front of you, right? You're inhaling that. You're going to take it in. You have to first acknowledge what is sitting in front of you, right? So you take that in. But something happens to our oxygen when we breathe it in before we can breathe it out, right? So as you're processing, as you're looking at how you heal and your identity and different things like that, that is what's coming out, the truth. After you process it, you inhale what you see, process it, breathe out the truth, and then walk in it. Okay? So you'll see some quotes like that from me around here. Now, on this mental health safety plan, there are a few questions that you ask that you're asked to answer. Let me share with you my two favorite. My first one is, what are my safe spaces I can go to? And if you don't have one, how do you create one? Right? So there's a little note under here that says you can also use quotes, scriptures, etc., that give you encouragement and can be put on a wall or used to decorate your space with. So if this was my safe space, I could put it right here on this wall. Put a quote, something to keep me going, right? But this is the rest of the note. Think of places other than the bed. Because a lot of us, when we get overwhelmed, when we get tired, when we don't want to deal anymore, the first place we go to is the bed, and we get stuck in the bed. So I'm not telling you it's not a good place to go. So go there, but what's your plan to get out of there and go to another safe space? I just don't want you to be stuck. Okay. Then the next question that I really like, that I really think is important for you to answer before you go on this journey, because you have to know why you want to go on this journey, right? What does a healed me look like? Answer that question. And the note under that is, what or who do I need to create my new normal? Because normally after you heal, things are not the same. Your perception of things are different. How you talk to people is different. The things you allow to come into your eye gates and ear gates is different, right? So, who do you need to help create that space for you? Okay. So do the mental health safety plan. Okay. Now, the rest of this journal is broken down to parts that deal with healing. Now, it's not an exhaustive list of the areas that exist where we need to do healing, but it gives you like three main parts that I believe. One is your identity, and your identity will tell you who told you what about who you are and why do you believe it. So if we've been hurt and our hurt shows up in our well-being, in our how we identify with ourselves, in our self-esteem, things of that sort, this is the part that you want to write in. Okay? Journal that. What does that look like? How does that show up in your life? Right? So that's the identity piece. Then you'll have another section that you'll go to, and it will be called processing. And I will show you this one just to give you an idea of why I call this processing, because this is your perception of how you deal with things. Because some things happen to us and it changes the way that we think, and we build these things called walls instead of boundaries, right? So not only do walls keep other people out, but they keep us from getting out ourselves, right? So recreating our boundaries, recreating our perception of life and where we go, who we talk to, what we do, and how we want to be able to function. This is your functioning, right? And I have this little feelings wheel so that we can give verbiage to how we're really feeling. Everything doesn't fall under happy, sad, mad, but you can go a little bit deeper. Okay. So I want you to be willing to go deeper and actually sit with that. Say, where do I feel it? Do I like this feeling? Am I okay with this feeling? Do I want to keep it? Do I want to let it go? And if I do, how do I do that? How is it showing up when I feel the way that I feel? Okay. So that's your processing. And then there's another section called healing and releasing. And it looks just the same as the other ones, except this one you deal with, how do you forgive? How do you get over, get through, get around? How do you deal with the healed you? If you know you're just hurting and you can't release something, this is where that conversation happens with yourself. Okay? Now, this is another part of the book that I really, 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 really appreciate, because we don't do this. We don't give ourselves credit. We don't say, hey, I see you, to ourselves, right? We don't say, hey, I noticed that I'm handling this a little bit different. So, this is the whole part in here about celebration. I want you to celebrate everything you do that allows you to know you're moving closer to that healed person you wrote about in the very beginning. Now, make that person realistic for you. And here is where you start to keep track of that, because we're overcomers by the words of our testimony. And so sometimes we have to remember our own testimony so that we can remember, oh, I can get through this because I got through that. And there just happens to be a nice little calendar at the end. If I can turn the pages. Hold on, I'm doing everything backwards, so bear with me. It's a nice little calendar. Write your dates in there, store them. Okay, this is for your celebration. And what is also at the end of each section is this place called Next Steps. We can talk all day, but the action is what matters. In your next steps, write down what you feel like you need to do to stay on track, or to accomplish what you wrote about, or to change what you wrote about. This is your next steps. This is your mental health to do list, okay? And that's at the end of each section. This is your journey to healing. This is where you're starting. And again, I cannot express to you how happy I am for you. I actually even want to hear about your story. So, on Facebook, if you go and you like SoulMine, SoulMine.life, well, that's the website. But on Facebook, look me up and then begin to share. Share your stories of healing. I want to hear if I can be of help. If you have a question or anything, let me know. Let's help each other with this because you're not by yourself. I promise you, you're not. All right. So, again, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm not going to take up too much more of your time because you got things to do. You got some healing to do. And I'm so happy for you. Thank you again for allowing me to go on this journey with you.